Hey everybody, what's going on? Happy Tuesday, late Tuesday afternoon now. Gonna be streaming in a couple of hours here just to talk about random stuff, whatever comes to mind, just to get into what we're feeling like as we head into the middle portion of the week. And yeah, hope to see you guys there. Gonna go for about an hour. But this video right here, I want to talk about something that is really going to help this team as they head into the offseason. And obviously, we don't know exactly where the Seahawks are going to be when they get to the offseason. There is some small chance that they could have a complete meltdown and miss the playoffs. There's also a chance they can win the Super Bowl. So obviously, that's going to affect things a lot, whether or not we go on a run or we don't, or maybe we go on a reverse run. But I want to look ahead a little bit to the upcoming off season. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you guys about Sleeper. I'll tell you a little secret as well. It's more than just a platform for fantasy leagues. This year, millions of users have enjoyed playing fantasy sports on Sleeper, but there's so much more to it. You have live stats, real-time updates of all stats. You have a news feed with lightning fast updates on players and teams, and a real-time chat where you can engage with other users about plays, performances, games, all kinds of stuff during the sports season. So download Sleeper, experience it for yourself, and don't forget to use my promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit, and pair that with their new promo that will give you a free $20 entry, no deposit needed. So you can use both of those promos. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and going. So check out Sleeper today and use those promos. So the Seahawks have a lot of stuff to think about for this upcoming offseason. This is a pretty big offseason. We've got some, at the very least, some pretty compelling players coming off the books. We also have a lot of extensions to give out. Now, the good news there is that the extensions are going to have a long-term effect on the salary cap. They're not going to have an immediate impact because those cap hits will not really be coming into play until later. And also, another element at play here is the Seahawks have a lot of cap space next year. They're rolling over some cap space from this year, and they've obviously got some room saved up even without that. So, there's things to do that are going to take away that cap space, but also remember they don't have a lot of draft picks. And when you take a look at the players they have to make decisions on, I don't know. Like, is there really that much of a decision on some of these guys? Like, okay, we definitely want to keep Shaheed because we traded a couple picks to get him. And I understand the production isn't there yet, by the way, but I made that video earlier today for a reason, to really try to illustrate what Shaheed has done to this offense and why it's valuable. So, okay, I think Shaheed has to stay. And I do suspect that the team has already kind of shown their hand on Kobe Bryant. They definitely want to keep him. After that, though, I don't know. Like Josh Jones, a backup swing tackle, I can take it or leave it. And even if you do keep him, it's not going to be expensive. Boye Mafe hasn't done enough this year to warrant keeping around. And even if you do, it's not going to cost as much as we thought. Hankins is probably going to retire. Walker, maybe, but the team has already kind of indicated they're not looking to keep him around after this year. So maybe not. Josh Jobe, okay, that's an interesting one. How much is he going to cost, though? You wouldn't think it would cost a lot. I think it would cost not an insignificant amount of money, but I don't think you're looking at that much. Chaz Surratt, whatever. And then you get past the Kobe Bryant one, and then you've got Reek Woolen, right? And okay, that would be another expensive one, but at the same time, I think we've already got some indicators from this team that they're really not looking to keep Woolen past this season. I don't get the sense that he's going to be extended, or if he does get extended, it'll magically be for a lot less money than we're thinking. So I look at this and I think to myself, right now we're projected to have like 80 million in cap space next year. We could release Cooper Kupp and free up to over 90. And Like, okay, you're going to bring back Shaheed. That's going to cost some money. And even if you bring back Walker and Bryant, like, you're still sitting on a ton of cap space. You're probably not going to be able to eat up very much cap space in the draft because your picks are going to be low and you don't have that many anyway. So you do the math, and it's like this team should have a lot of money to play with even after they take care of their business. Again, Witherspoon, JSN, Charles Cross, extensions on those guys are not going to affect the immediate cap space very much, if at all, because they're extensions. The year or years left on their deals still apply. So when you think about it like that, and then you factor in what we're going to talk about in this video, what I'm about to get into here, this Seahawks team has a chance to be a big player in free agency. Because even though the team is doing very well right now, I think we all understand the Seahawks still have needs they're going to have. Like, if you lose Kobe Bryant, you're going to need maybe another safety. If you lose Ken Walker, you're going to need a running back. If you lose Boye Mafe, you're going to need an edge rusher. So there are going to be needs that need to be filled here. Like, guys are going to replace the guys we lose. Understood. But here's one really cool thing about this offseason as we look at it right now. We've got a couple of players that are currently on restricted free agent tags, and then we've got another player who is on an exclusive rights free agent tag, and I want to talk about that a little bit so we understand. So I'm talking about Tai Okada here. Tai Okada, according to Spotrac, is a restricted free agent in the upcoming offseason, 2026. So restricted free agency basically means the team that the player is currently on, which in his case is, of course, the Seahawks, can place a 1-year tender on the player, and the player has to take it, or they have to hope that another team beats that amount. So for 2026, according to Over the Cap here, the projected restricted tenders for restricted free agents is $3.45 million for right of first refusal, which is just anybody who beats that amount, you have a chance to match. If you don't match it, they leave. 5.66, so about, call it 5.7 million for a second round tender, and then it's 7.9 million for a first round tender. And what that means is if you put the second round tender on a restricted free agent and a team comes in, beats your offer and goes up to, like, say 6 million, so it would be a 1-year $6 million offer, and you decide you're not going to match it, you lose the player, but you get another second round pick. So in the case of Tai Okada, I don't think anybody's going to give up a second round pick to get him. So odds are pretty good that you could just go right of first refusal, offer him 1 year, 3.45 million, and you have yourself a capable safety without extending your long-term cap hits and without committing big money to him. And by the way, as we've seen this year, Okada is not just depth, he can be an adequate starter. So if you lose Kobe Bryant and you don't trust Eamon Wari to be a safety, then Okada might be it. You could retain a guy who has proven he can be a capable starter for you for the low price of 3.45 million. And look, if somebody wants to come in here, be a superhero, pop that offer, there's obviously going to be a point where you let the guy go, but the odds are certainly in your favor. I don't think there's going to be some huge market for Tai Okada. So the point I'm trying to make is, based on Okada's play this year, if we tried to bring him back next year and he thought he was going to be a starter, he'd probably get more than, 1 year, 3.4 million. He'd probably get, I'd say, at least like 5 or 6 million, and maybe even a multi-year deal. So this is like a contingency plan, and it's a good one. A guy who's already proven he can play in your defense fairly effectively. Maybe he's not amazing, but it's at the very least an insurance policy in case you cannot find the Kobe Bryant replacement, right? I think that makes sense. If you lose Kobe, keeping Okada kind of becomes important because at least you know he can get it done. And again, it's going to be much cheaper than it would be if he was unrestricted, I think. Okada as an unrestricted free agent, if he knows he has the leverage of being offered a starting job if he signs, I think he's going to want more than that, probably a decent amount more. We're also looking at the same situation with Drake Thomas. He is also restricted, and with the way Drake Thomas has played this year, I'm sorry, you might end up doing the second round tender on him. I don't know, but he's become a really good playmaker, and he is starting on one of the best defenses in football. So clearly, something is going well here. And I'm not saying he's a great linebacker. I'm not saying he's one of the best. And I understand that bubbles burst. And that this goes for Okada too, by the way. But right now, Drake Thomas is doing so much work as a playmaker, and he's playing significant snaps for one of the best defenses in football, to where, yeah, I think there are teams out there that would probably throw some money at him. And I think if you do the second round tender, you are getting a really good deal on a quality weak side linebacker. 1 year, 5.66 million, call it 5.7. I mean, it's not super cheap, but honestly, the way Drake Thomas is playing this year, if he was unrestricted this offseason, I kind of feel like he would get a multi-year deal. And I kind of feel like it would be for more than 6 million a year. Maybe because the position has been devalued, not, but he's up there in all playmaking stats. He's batting down passes, he's breaking up passes, he's getting sacks, he's making plays in the backfield. And, I'm somebody who did not think he was going to be this good at all, but the writing's on the wall here, I think, very clearly with him. So, yeah, I think that if you could get Drake Thomas on that 1 year restricted tag, and if somebody wants to go get him, you get a second round pick, that's pretty sweet too. I would take that. And then you've kind of got your weak side linebacker spot sewn up with him and Knight for a very cheap cost. You've got your starter and your backup for less than, what would it be, like less than 8 million combined. So that's also nice. That's something that's going to help you build this team out without financially extending yourself. And here's maybe another one. And I understand this is not the most exciting player in the world, but Jalen Sundle, who has been the starter for most of the year, and he's been not terrible. If you want to kick the can down the road at center here, and even if you don't, Jalen Sundle, after a season where he's going to be starting for most of the year, is an exclusive rights free agent, which means you only have to offer him a 1 year deal at the veteran minimum for whatever that player is. And I believe that Jalen Sundle would only be eligible for the one accrued season. So next year, it would be 1 year, 1 million, basically flat. Slightly more than 1 million, 1.01 million. And he would just have to take it because exclusive rights means you don't really have any negotiating leverage. You just either sign it or you retire. So even as a backup, if Jalen Sundle's your backup center, that's good. And if you have a backup center making $1 million with NFL experience, you're in a great spot. And if he's your starter next year, I don't know if I like it, but I also know it's not completely terrible. He's not the worst center I've ever seen. He's playable. He does have some strengths. There are some benefits to having Sundle out there. And you're going to be able to keep him without even thinking about it for a very, very cheap rate. So these are things that are going to make it easier for this team to fill out. If they lose Kobe Bryant because of money and they need another safety, they can just go to Okada for a few $1,000,000 on a 1 year tender. They need another linebacker next year because maybe they don't trust Tyrese Knight anymore. They got Drake Thomas on a restricted tag for 1 year, probably again, less than 6 million. And Jalen Sundle has proven that he's at least playable in this league. You get him for $1 million. Think about all the money you're saving. Think about how much money you'd have to spend on equivalent players if they were unrestricted, if you had to go out into free agency. Let me know what you guys think. See you guys later. Go Hawks. See you guys in stream. That's all I got.